Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Conversations with Delpha and Naomi. I'm Delpha,
I'm Naomi.
and Naomi is back.
I'm back.
We're on vacation and retreat and all the things.
It was heavenly. It was really great. Yeah, definitely. There were definitely thoughts in my head around going on this trip, as there always are for me. But oh my gosh, it was great. It was really great.
We're totally going to talk about that because
Okay.
it's a surprise to me when we started talking this morning. And hi, everybody. Welcome back. And really, welcome back to our Saturday morning chat.
Yeah.
We do this every Saturday.
It's so fun.
I think it's fun. We just kind of chat it up. But yeah, let's really first of all, tell everybody how your trip went. How did you feel? And then we'll tackle the actual topic because it's time to your trip.
It is. I love travel, and I am a little bit of a reluctant traveler. There's a lot of things that come up, a little, this and that, travel, airports, but the trip was amazing. So I went to Greece. I have always wanted to go to Greece. I mean, my goodness, it's such a beautiful, ancient land. All land is ancient, of course, but it was amazing for several reasons. One was because I was in Greece, oh my goodness, and saw Athens and the Acropolis and learned history, and the people were so open and friendly and very knowledgeable, right, about their country and their heritage. And the second part of my trip, I was on retreat. I'll send out a little plug. I was on retreat with Hannah McKittrick on the island of Samos for a 6-day retreat. My Intuitive Health, if you want information about my lovely Hannah McKittrick, and it was amazing, right? I need to fill up myself. I need to fill up my bucket. And I do in this, well, all of us do, right? And being a person who is in a helping profession as a coach, I know how important it is for me to do this for myself. So that's what retreat really brought me, besides food and healing and transformation, all that stuff. And then anyway, I stayed on 3 extra days and went to Santorini. Yes, it is just like the pictures. It's amazing. It's amazing. So now I'm home, and yeah, it was worth every second of planning, and even a tiny bit of oh, what am I doing? So,
Well, so
right?
yeah, for everyone. So she's back, and we were talking this morning, and she said, I was giving myself all these reasons why I shouldn't go. And that triggered for me, you know what? I do the same thing. And I do it often. And I don't know why. And I will sit here and make excuses, right? So I will absolutely say, well, I'm an introvert extrovert. And it is true. I'm an introvert extrovert. I love being home and I love people. People make me tired. So then I have to come home and rest. But
that's a whole other topic we need to go into. So
the introvert, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But taking care of our energy.
Yeah. But I'll use it as a crutch, because then I will say, I'm just not going to go. And then I'll hermit for weeks on end. And then I work from home. It makes it really easy to hermit. And so there's a lot less hesitation for me to do it. But I just found it so interesting that you and I are both pretty outgoing. We both love to travel. But yet there's this part of us that comes up with all the reasons why.
All the reasons why. And
don't do it. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, so one of the things I know about myself is that I will find all the reasons why. And without going into my whole psychological background and all of that stuff and upbringing, I mean, there are reasons, there are family reasons and this and that. And, things that we all kind of face. But one thing that I know about myself that I don't know if it was completely conscious in the beginning, like in my 20s, but I surround myself with people who do not think that way. They don't think about all the reasons why not. they think all the reasons why, yes, right? So I know that I have surrounded myself with those people for my whole life in order to give myself that little pull that I needed. So it's not a push, right? Like a kick in the butt, but it's that pull because I need that and I want that to quiet those voices, right? All the reasons why not, right?
So
So
it's interesting because I am one of your people that is
yeah.
all the reasons why, yes. And yet,
Oh yeah.
and yet, while I'm that person for you, I'm not that person for me.
Hello, me too. That's it. Hello. Sorry. Yes. But I think that you do the same thing, right? I mean, of course, I want to attract those that have qualities that I want to grow within myself. Did I know that in my 20s and 30s? No, I didn't know it consciously. But I remember writing a piece about this in a class I took around like writing speeches and stuff. And I was blocked. I was so blocked. I called my good friend Robin and I said, Robin, I can't complete this assignment. I just can't complete it. And she just said, write about beautiful people in your life or something like that. And all of a sudden it started flowing out like, oh my gosh, when I looked at the people that I'm so close to, and some of them have come in and out of my life, but most of the people were still there. I realized I could name and describe amazing qualities they had that I wanted to grow in myself, right? So they were all the reasons why, like for me to expand. You do the same thing. I know. Well, this podcast, I'm like, what? We don't have a podcast. I'm not doing a podcast. What are you talking about? And then you're like, oh, well, it's already about to go.
Yeah. And here we are. So but that's my point. That's my point. Like my reason why was we're gonna push Naomi for her reason why. And now we're in it together, which is great. Love it. But at the same time, like I will lollygag. That's one of my favorite words. I will lollygag in making the decision to jump. When I jump, I'm all in. But I will spend in my head hours of like, oh my gosh, if I do this and what are they going to do? And so it paralyzes me sometimes. And then I have to talk myself out of it. And thank goodness for like all the coaching training and being coached and all that stuff that's helped me kind of move forward and be able to recognize when that's happening. But I know a lot of people, and I do think it's part of the human condition that we're going to sit here and a lot of folks call that overthinking. I don't know that you're overthinking it so much as you're creating the story in your head of what the future could look like. And then you get concerned that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And now you're down a bunch of rabbit holes. So like on this trip, before the trip, you were having those thoughts. What did you do to get the heck over it and get your butt to freaking Greece like you're supposed to?
I know. So if my one friend is listening, she knows. So I was totally on board with this. And especially knowing that I was going for the most of the trip was going to be on retreat. And I was going to be completely taken care of. Like, oh, that takes care of a lot of the reasons why are gone. And I was really happy about going ahead of time. And then we were talking about staying on and going to an island. And originally I said to my friend, I think I just want to come home after retreat. And to her credit, she did not say, what the heck? Like, we're already in Greece? Like, what do you, right? So she gave me the 24 hours to like think about it. And what really did step back because I felt it in my body. Like I felt a little, and I wasn't sure if I was feeling like a negative feeling in my body about my decision to come home early or to stay on. I didn't really know for sure. And I just took some quiet time and I didn't overthink it because really Confessions of an Overthinker, like, that was a whole thing for me. But I just really tried to get quiet. Yeah, I did do some meditation, and I did call my friend back and just said, you know what, I'm in. I'm in. But um the all of the like reasons started flying up into my head. I want to come home. It'll be done. I'll feel like the trip is complete. I don't need to stay on. And I listened to those thoughts. I listened to them and I wrote a few of them down and I looked at what I wrote and I thought, this is like garbage. Like, this is garbage thought. Like, throw it away. And I was like, are you crazy? I'm not going to go to Santorini. So I had to really look at it from the outside or maybe from the inside, like, oh, I'll have had enough. Really? You'll have had enough?
Who has enough?
Of like an amazing, amazing.
That's what Santorini. But you know what? I think that is what happens. Like, first of all, I love the idea that you just threw out, write the thoughts out. I usually don't write them out, but I'll ask myself, is that actually true?
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be my guiding point. And to your point of you have the feeling in your body when you're lying to yourself and you ask yourself, is that actually true? The feeling completely changes and you know it's not true. And so it is a quick switch for self-awareness. But I find it interesting, like you almost self-coached because you wrote it out and then you went back and you read it again. You were like, I'm not doing this. I'm getting on a plane and I'm going to Santorini.
I know. All the reasons why. So when you travel to Greece off season, I discovered for all of those listeners who have done this and traveled to Greece, I thought, you take ferries from island to island and it's all blah, blah, blah. When you travel off season, those ferries don't run. So there's a lot of short plane rides. You are on one island, you fly back to Athens, you get another flight to another island, then you go back to Athens, and then you go to another island. Now, I'm saying this with like a normal voice, but when I found this out, all the reasons why, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get on a plane and I have to fly back to Athens to fly to an island to go back to fly. And all the reasons why I don't want to do it, I was just creating so many reasons. I don't want to get on that many planes. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's what a waste of time. It was amazing. If I had gotten on a ferry to go back and forth during season, I probably would have been very crabby. Like, I have to schlep my own stuff, and the water might not have been, the ferries get canceled. All the reasons why to go off season. It was so easy. But my tendency is to go to the negative, right? The aversion. I don't want to do all that. Instead of, oh my gosh, hell yes. Why would, and you know what I remembered? I like, so these small flights, Delpha are prop planes. I mean, they're not tiny planes. Like 60 people.
Right there. Reason why not to go. Reason for fun. Prop plane. Keep coming.
But they're not like, I asked my travel person that helps me, and I said, is it like 6 people? He's like, no, it's like 60. I love those flights.
Okay.
And I don't love flying. I don't hate it, but I felt like, wow, I love this. Like this short, like less than an hour. I don't know. I just felt like comfortable and totally like happy above the clouds. All the reasons why. Like, when am I going to do that? You walk out onto the tarmac to get on the plane. But I'm like, this is real stuff. This is so fun. Anyway,
you're
all the way why. So tell me about
So I'm actually going to tie this back a little bit to the conversation I had with Jackie on the last podcast, because it's again, she doesn't talk about it from a reasons why, but she tells the story of having already a crappy day. She's tired. It's like crap on the river. She's soaking wet. The dogs are wet. She lands on this little island in the middle of, like an inlet in the middle of the river, and it's got all these just rocks, and it sucks. And she literally just said, and she named all the things why I'm done moving forward. And the next morning, she finds that around the bend on this island, there's a nice little beach and it's gorgeous. And she could have had the best night and it would have been such a treat. But that is all the reasons why. She did all the reasons why not versus just pushing a little more. And I think that's also what happens. We create the story or we tell ourselves whatever this is. And like my initial reaction to you, prop plane, I'm like, absolutely not. No, I fly for work. I fly for fun. I've flown to Europe. I don't mind an 8-hour flight. I don't mind any of that. I hate a commuter plane with a passion. But yet you're talking about it from the other side of like, ooh, okay, I'm going to totally age myself. Eastern Airlines. We're out there walking on the tarmac. We're jumping on the plane and it's all nice and 1960s sexy. And it's super fun because it's like really cool. And yet we forget that. We forget that part of it. And so I love the concept of reframing and kind of taking it a stride and being easy. It's kind of like being easy with yourself and bringing yourself a little bit of like, hey, you know what? Can't this just be fun? Let's just make it fun.
And there's the key too. Like, do I feel like this is because sometimes all the reasons why tell me like, no, right? We can't, I don't want to go to the other extreme. I always imagine this scale, right? With a fulcrum. Is that, aging myself or whatever. But so I don't want to push myself to say yes to things that I really don't want to do. Right. So all the reasons why, like to me, I look at that balance scale because I'm less apt to do it now, but in my zeal for like saying yes, there are things that I said yes to that I really didn't want to do, and so getting like that sense of, wait, where's the balance, So when you talk about that, like I know that you know where that balance point is too, and it's something that I don't do alone all the time either. I mean, I use friends, I use my coach. I definitely call people. I'm a talker, if you can't already figure that out, right? I'm a let's talk it outer person. So sometimes I have to talk to myself, but I like to balance it off with people because I want to see like people's reaction too when I say I'm going to come home from retreat after retreat and not go to Santorini. And if people's faces are like, "What the?" Right?
Yeah.
I want to see that, and I'm not going to just be a pleaser. Going back to positive intelligence and just do it because the other person is going to do it. But I need to feel that balance. Like, what was that uncomfortable feeling in my body? And it was just a little bit of pushing past my edge because I do like being home, and but not much past center, right? So
yeah. I actually I got to say no this week. Well, I get to say no a lot, but I got to say no this week in a way that was good for me, and it was a good reminder. And here's the story. Someone set up time with me to talk about a potential opportunity to do extra, to do more, blah, 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 all the things, right?
Yeah.
And I'm already really, really busy just in general in my day to day. And my reaction was, my first internal reaction was, I don't want to disappoint this person. They're so excited. They really want me. And that feels so good. And that would be fantastic and all this stuff. And then I took a moment, and this is in my head. This is the whole conversation, and it was just a matter of seconds for me. But the other part of my head said, "Girl, you've lost your mind." Look at that, Akon. One other thing, we're not doing it. And then I said, you know what? I really appreciate you guys thinking of me, but the reality of it is, I don't have time, and frankly, I don't have the mental capacity to spend a year doing this work.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I said no. And they were disappointed and all the things. They're like, well, you'll be so great at it. And I'm like, listen, all right, let me show you my calendar. Let me show you just my regular calendar, what it looks like. And all the things I'm doing today. I'm looking forward to rolling off some of those things that are ending at the end of the year so that I can have more capacity to work with my team and continue to innovate and do all the things that I want to do. I am not looking to fill that time. And so, and she was like, oh, okay. And here's the catch. Nobody said this, right? But then you think, and because I work in corporate, I'm going to tie it back to corporate. You think, but how is this going to affect my career? And I'm going to be really controversial and say, who cares? Who cares? Is it going to affect your career? I don't know. Is it going to affect my career? I don't know. Who cares? I'm tired when I finish work. I would like to be able to finish work, shut down my computer, and go have some fun with my husband. With my friends. Go to a happy hour. Do all of that. Right now, I'm so busy. I'm not there, and that's out of balance for me. So I'm looking forward to getting the balance back. And this, I call it like this. I'm like, this is the devil offering me a set of roses that are really pretty, and I'm gonna want, but and I will twirl with them. So I said no, and I'm quite content about it.
Wow. See, all the reasons why you want a balanced life. Balance isn't, I always, balance isn't quite the right word. A fully satisfied life. Okay. So yeah. And you came up with all the reasons why. And, maybe, do you think like 20 years earlier in your career, you might have said yes? Because, we build our careers and then we can come to this place. So I love that you came up with all the reasons why it wasn't right for you, and how you showed your colleague or friend, like, this is what's happening in the schedule and everything. I really am going to guess that conversation had an amazing ripple effect. Is it going to have an amazing ripple effect? That's my hope, is like that ripple will go maybe to that one person when, I don't know, 2 or 5 years from now, something happens and they remember Delpha kind of explaining to me this at that point in her life and this and that, right? It's going to ripple out one way or another. I mean, it always ripples out, but like, what a positive way. I mean, you didn't say like, I'm not doing that, right?
No.
You sent a beautiful ripple out with your positive energy. That's what I think.
It was just being sincere. And I love what you just said right now around, and I don't know that you meant it, but this is how I heard it.
Wow.
There's only one reason why, and it's to live a fulfilled, satisfied life.
Yeah.
And none of the other reasons matter. And I kind of like, then why are we thinking about all the other things? We're thinking all the other things, but we always forget that one. I want to live a fulfilled, satisfied life. And this thing that's in front of me, does it fit that? Yes or no? And all of a sudden the decisions are easy and there's no reasons why. Seeing with your friend, you want to live a fully fulfilled, satisfied life. That includes staying in Santorini a couple of extra days and running around doing whatever it is that you did over there. Shopping. Okay, you did some shopping. That was never a reason not to chop. I don't care what anybody says. And I said chop like Puerto Rican does. Yeah, we shop.
Yeah,
we shop.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. And that was another reason why. Because usually I don't really over shop on trips, but this one, I don't know. I mean, and I didn't but I came home. Oh my God, I came home with this gorgeous outfit that I'm gonna wear to my cousin's wedding. When they get married, hopefully this spring or whatever. But anyway, it was like, all the reasons why, again, it goes back to different things are important at different times in my life. I mean, I remember spending all my time around my teaching skills, but it was really important to me then. And did I still go out for happy hour Friday? Yes. But, I would sign up for workshops on the weekends or the evenings or whatever. But that was what I wanted. I wanted to feel confident. And okay, some of it maybe I did because the pleaser was saying you should sign up for this. I don't know. Anyway, but it was the right thing at the right time. Yeah, it satisfied me. I'm at a different stage, in my life for sure. And right now, shopping satisfied me. And I was gonna say, it goes back to the belief, the deep rooted belief that I try to ignite every day around abundance. There is enough. I'm not gonna make a stupid decision. I'm not gonna spend $1 million something that I don't have $1 million for or whatever. Like I'm going to take care of myself. Like, and so but there also is abundance. So be honest with myself around it. Because that feeling of lack, like, ooh, it creeps in and it goes into all the reasons why, because I don't have enough. I don't have enough. I won't have enough. I won't have enough time. I won't have enough this. But sometimes it's just the truth, right? I'm going to know, like you said, you don't want to spend your time. You want to have fun with your husband and this and that. So again, it's that balance. You can't see me, listeners, but I'm doing a balance scale thing with my hands.
Well, we're glad you're back. And anyway, this was awesome because I don't know how to explain this. The whole all the reasons why is a thing, and it just came home for me, and I hope for the listeners and for you, that there's only one real reason, and that's your yes or no. Your real reason is, does this fill you up? Does this add value to your life? Does it make you happy? Yes or no? Answer's no. You don't do it.
Right.
Don't, and I will tell you, the answer is no. And we're logical beings. We're still going to have the whole, well, but what if? Well, no what if, right? Because we're living in the moment. So we'll leave you guys with those thoughts. And I love to hear in the comments, and thank you for sharing comments. That's really fun for us to go through them and to write back. We love it. I'd love to hear from you guys all the reasons why yes to you. Because usually we're ready to enumerate the reasons of why not. Let's talk about the yes to you. All the reasons why you're saying yes to you today.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm totally saying yes to another cup of coffee.
Okay. Yeah.
Why not?
And
so go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I'm not saying, say yes. Obviously, I live in the real world, so I want to base my decisions in my real world, but my real world isn't like just my mind. That's the thing, right?
That's right.
My real world is my body and my everything else. So I've said no to a lot of things in my life. I don't want to say I regret it because it brought me to where I am today, but I am done with saying no to things that really are going to fill me up. And then I know there's abundance around. Like, don't be scared, Naomi.
Amen, sister. So with that, we're going to end the podcast because that was good. And as always, if you like what you hear, please leave us a 5-star rating, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. We are going to start launching a newsletter fairly soon. So if you're interested, go to the website. It's www.cwg DN podcast. I'm going to learn my own website. It's Conversations with Delpha Naomi, acronym podcast.com. At some point, I'll get this right. But in the meantime, we hope you find joy in this. We hope you find something valuable in it. And if you don't want to leave a rating, that's fine. please share with somebody that's going to find value in it. And with that, thank you. I will see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.
Okay.